Hello guys. I'll be giving a lecture on square wave generation using operational amplifiers. We know that we can generate waves using operational amplifiers. Here we will learn how to generate square wave using operational amplifiers. Square wave output are generated when the OPM is forced to operate in its saturated regions, that is the positive saturation and the negative saturation. That is, the output voltage V0 will be forced to swing between the positive saturation and the negative saturation repetitively. This square wave generator is also called as a stable multivibrator. So before we start a square wave generator circuit, first we'll see this circuit, which is basically an operational amplifier with a positive feedback. This circuit is also called as a Smith trigger. So in this circuit, initially we'll take V2 is equal to 0, and here we can see that a fraction of V0 is given as input to the non-inverting terminal, and because of this positive feedback the output voltage will continuously grow until it reaches its positive saturation voltage. Hence that is V0 will become positive saturation voltage. So we can write V1 as R1 by R1 plus R2 multiplied by the positive saturation voltage. And if supply is given to V2, and when V2 becomes slightly more than V1, then the V0, the output voltage, will change from the positive saturation voltage to the negative saturation voltage, and we'll write it as V1 is equal to R1 by R1 plus R2 multiplied by the negative saturation voltage. So here we'll start the square wave generator circuit. So first we take an operational amplifier with positive feedback, same as the one we took before, and we connect the inverting terminal to capacitor C, which will be charged through resistor R connected to the output voltage V0. So initially the capacitor is not charged, has no charge, so V2 is equal to 0, and the differential voltage VID, which is V1 minus V2, will become V1 since V2 is 0. So VID is equal to V1, and we have that V1 is a function of the output offset voltage VOOT. So and depends on the value of R1 and R2. So VID is equal to VOOT. That is the output of the operational amplifier in this circuit will be in positive or negative saturation depending on whether the differential voltage VID is negative or positive respectively. That is, it depends on the polarity of the output offset voltage. So initially, since C has no charge, V2 is 0, so this V1 will drive the output voltage towards the positive saturation, and it will remain there until V2 becomes more than V1. So during this time the capacitor C will start charging through R. When V2 will increase. When V2 becomes slightly more than V1, the output voltage V0 will change from the positive saturation to the negative saturation minus VEE. The output voltage will change from the positive saturation to the negative saturation. So we can write the differential voltage VID as minus V1 plus V2. Hence minus V1 is equal to R1 by R1 plus R2 multiplied by the negative saturation voltage. At this time the output voltage will be in the negative saturation voltage, and it will remain there until this the voltage V2 becomes less than minus V1. So since as V1 is negative, the capacitor C starts discharging through R towards the negative saturation voltage until a certain range, that is minus V1, and the output voltage V0 and V2 becomes less than V1. After that, when that happens, the V0 output voltage V0 changes from the negative saturation voltage to the positive saturation voltage, and we can write V1 is equal to R1 by R1 plus R2 multiplied by positive voltage saturation. In general, V is equal to R1 by R1 plus R2 multiplied by the saturation voltage. Now we'll see the graph. So this is the square wave graph. Here it is this denotes the output voltage and this is the capacitor voltage. See here, initially when the capacitor voltage is 0, the output voltage is at the positive saturation and it slightly increases, and when it is slightly more than V1 or equal to V1, the positive output changes from the positive saturation to the negative saturation, and it stays there until the capacitor voltage, which is V2, is again slightly less than V1. When it is slightly less than V1, the capacitor voltage is slightly less than V1, the negative saturation changes to the positive saturation. Like this, it will repeat with the charging and discharging of the capacitor. Here, the time period depends on the value of the constant R and capacitor C, and also depends on the value of R1 and R2. Then time period T can be given as T is equal to twice RC multiplied by log of 2R1 plus R2 divided by R2, and we have the output frequency, which is 1 by T, that is 1 by 2RC log of 2R1 plus R2 divided by R2. From here we can see that, from this equation we can see that the higher if R, the constant R and C gets smaller, then the frequency will get higher. If R and C gets smaller, the frequency will get higher, and if R and C gets higher, then the frequency will get smaller. In practical, its inverting and non-inverting terminal needs a series resistance Rs to prevent excessive differential current flow, because the inputs of the operational amplifier are subjected to large differential voltages. So the resistance Rs should be around 100k or higher. So a reduced peak-to-peak output voltage swing can be obtained in the square wave generator. So now we'll talk about uses of operational amplifiers to perform arithmetic operations. Op-amp circuit as an adder. So an op-amp circuit which can accept 2 or more inputs and produce the output as a sum of these inputs. So here we have a 3 input adder op-amp circuit. So at this node A, the voltage at this node A is VA, and at this node the non-inverting terminal is grounded. So the node at the non-inverting terminal is the voltage at the non-inverting terminal is 0. So by concept of virtual ground, the voltage of VA is equal to 0. V capital A is equal to 0. Now we have 3 resistors R1, R2 and R3, and the 3 inputs VA, VB and VC. Its respective currents are I1, I2 and I3, and here we have the RF and its current IF. So by applying KCL at node A, we get that I1 plus I2 plus I3 is equal to IF. So I1 is equal to V small a minus V capital A by R1 plus VB minus VA by R2 plus VC minus VA by R3 is equal to IF is VA minus V0 by divided by RF. Since V capital A is equal to 0, we get the following equation that VA by R1 plus VB by R2 plus VC by R3 is equal to minus V0 by RF. So V0 is equal to minus RF by VA by R1 plus VB by R2 plus VC by R3, which is basically the sum of the three inputs. If R1, R2 and R3 are same is equal to R, then V0 will become minus RF by VA by R plus VB by R plus VC by R. So V0 becomes minus RF by R. Taking R as common, we get minus RF by R, VA plus VB plus VC. We see that here minus RF by R is the amplification factor, and it is multiplied to the sum of the three inputs. And if RF and R is same, then we'll get V0, the output voltage V0 as minus VA plus VB plus VC. Here the unity gain is unity. Op-amp circuit as a subtractor. So in op-amp subtractor circuit, output will be the difference of the two terminal inputs. So it is basically a differential amplifier. Here we have a two input subtractor op-amp subtractor circuit. So at this point, at this node, we take the voltage as V plus, and V plus is equal to R2 by R1 plus R2 multiplied by V2, which is then we solve the following equation, that is it is equal to 1 plus R2 by R1 multiplication of R2 by R1 plus R2 multiplied by V2. We get R2 by R1 multiplied by V2. From this we can get V0 is equal to minus R2 by R1 multiplied by V1 plus R2 by R1 multiplied by V2. So we take R2 by R1 as common, and we get R2 by R1 is equal to V2 minus V1. Op-amp multiplier circuit. So first we'll see the block diagram. Here the two inputs V1 and V2 will first go to their respective log amplifiers, and after that the two outputs will go to the adder amplifier, which will add the two inputs, and the output we get from the amplifier, from the adder amplifier, will go to the anti-lock amplifier. The anti-lock amplifier will take the log. From the anti-lock amplifier, it will go to the sign changing, and finally the final output will be the product of the two inputs. So here we have the multiplier, op-amp multiplier circuit. We have the two inputs V1 and V2. First it will go to the inverted log amplifiers. What it does is it will take log of the respective inputs, and sign will also change, since these two amplifiers are inverted amplifiers. After this, the outputs we get from the log amplifiers, they will go to the adder amplifier. They will the adder amplifier will add the two inputs. So here we have the diagram and the equation, that minus log V1 plus minus log V2 is equal to log V1 plus log V2. We know that log A plus log B is equal to log A multiplied by B. So log V1 plus log V2 is equal to log V1 multiplication of V1 and V2. The output we get from the adder will go to the anti-lock amplifier. The anti-lock amplifier will remove the lock, so we get V1 multiplied V2, but the sign will change since it is an inverted amplifier. So we get minus V1 product of minus V1 and V2. After the anti-lock, the output will go to the sign changer. There is the voltage follower amplifier. There the sign will change. Then the final output will be the product of V1 and V2. Op-amp divider circuit. So we have the block diagram here. The only difference between the divider and the multiplier is that in the divider, instead of the adder circuit, we'll use the subtractor circuit, which is basically the differential amplifier. Rest of the block diagrams will be same. Rest of the circuit will be same. The only difference will be instead of adder, we will use subtractor. Here we have the op-amp divider circuit. We have two inputs here, V1 and V2. The inputs will first go to the inverted log circuit, which is basically it will take the log of their respective inputs, and sign will change from positive to negative since the amplifier is an inverted amplifier. After this, the inputs we get from the log amplifiers, they will go to the subtractor amplifier. They will subtract the two inputs. So here the subtraction equation is given: minus log v2 minus log v1, and we get log v1 minus log v2. We know that log a minus log b is log a by b, so log v1 minus log v2, we will get log v1 by v2. The output we get here will go to the anti-log, which is basically it will remove the log from here, so we get v1 by v2. And since it is an inverted amplifier, the sign will change from positive to negative, and the output we get here from the anti-log will go to the sign changer, which will change the sign, and the final output would be v1 by v2.